Hello everybody and welcome to another video. We are reading 5-star predictions, if not 5-star predictions, highly anticipated books for me. And we are going to start with The Spell Shop. This is another one that people either love or hate, and I love reading books that have that much subjectivity to them and making up my own mind. And I read the first chapter this morning and I'm already invested. So that is a great sign. I think I'm gonna really like this book, honestly. Cozy fantasy, but like seems kind of high stakes at the same time, which I feel like is the perfect mix. Sorry, now that we talked about it and you know what I'm reading, I'm taking off the cover. Also, the winged cats that are on the cover, already mentioned. We are following, what is her name? Keela. Our main character, Keela, has this sprite of some kind that travels with her, and the town where she lives has just been under siege, I guess, for a long time, and they finally got through the gates, and she is a caretaker of a library. One of many caretakers who all fled, and she was like, we're gonna be fine. And then it starts with her realizing they're not fine and that they are starting to burn down the library, and she fills crates with books and goes on a ship and is like, where should we go that we can take care of these books? And she decides on an island called Caltree. She decides on an island called Caltree, and she's like, this is where I was born. Who is this guy? Oh my goodness, do I know anything? Kaz, her little sprite friend Kaz. She's telling him all about it, and she's like, I was born there, and it is a fishing village, and my parents wanted to get out and move to the city and raise me better in a bigger world than they grew up in, and they just wanted to get out, but now she's going home. I guess that they never sold their house there, their cottage, so she's going to take it, and it's probably going to be the spell shop because she is all about these spell books. And that's kind of all I know so far. It's Friday afternoon, which seems to be when I keep starting my videos, which is fine because it means that I have most of the weekend to read. We do have quite a busy weekend compared to others, so we'll see how much reading I actually get done, but the last book I read in a day and a half, and I absolutely loved it. I'm hoping that happens the same here. That would be wonderful. We are going away on Wednesday, July 1st, but I'm hoping, I don't know when this video is going out, but I'm hoping to get all 3 of these books done before July 1st, which is 4 days. I don't know if I can do it, but I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna read as much as I can over the next 4 days. 5 if you include today, which we could, though usually we do a little bit of a date night situation on Friday nights, so we'll see what happens. We are still doing our Survivor binge watch as well, but outside of that, I will probably be reading most of the time. So I just made myself a little decaf latte. It is pouring rain. It's been sunny for weeks and now it is raining again. This always seems to be the end of June here though, so I'm not surprised. Most afternoons I have been reading on the deck though, and this means that I have to sit on the couch instead, which is fine. I love the cozy couch anyway. Also have some rice crackers. These things are the best. This is my go-to afternoon snack lately. Maybe I'll get cuddles. Will I get cuddles? I hope so. I don't know if you want to play or if you want to cuddle. Come on up. I'm not giving you more food, you little beggar. Can we settle? Oh, you're so sweet, you little beggar. Saw that coming. No snacks, no cuddles. Is that what you're saying to me? I am 99 pages into The Spell Shop, so it seems like the perfect time to do a little update. I am really enjoying this book. I was reading it last night. You know, I got 5 chapters in and I thought, oh, this is a little bit slower than I thought it would be, even knowing it was a cozy fantasy. And then I just kept reading and then I didn't want to put it down. It took me a long time to decide to fall asleep, and I am very tired this morning because of it. This is like a small town romance, but with fantasy aspects. That is what it is. I think that this is going to become more of a romance book than anything else, though it is still the aspect of she's new to this village, reinserting herself into this community and making a name for herself, taking it a day at a time. Like, it's very slice of life. She's just trying to survive. She is making up this plan to make some money so that she can survive. And it's very fun. It's so cute. A surprising amount has happened for being a cozy fantasy, but nothing exciting, just day-to-day stuff. The magical aspects are super fun. It's so cute. It's like a cozy video game, which is also what I said about Legends and Lattes, because they were slowly introducing these new recipes and stuff to their cafe. And in this one, she is finding items for recipes to do some magic. And it feels like the beginning of a video game when like you're learning how to do these spells and do these magic recipes. And it's very fun in that way. I have also just been playing Tiny Bookshop for the past 2 days, kind of all weekend. But now I am going to spend the rest of my Sunday. It is noon. I'm going to eat lunch and then I'm going to spend the rest of my Sunday reading this. Hopefully I'll finish it today. I think that would be great. I'm having a lot of fun. So other than cooking and walking the dogs, all I'm going to do, hopefully, for the rest of the day is read. I think that I will get right back into it once I pick it up now. Okay, Keela is talking about a party she went to, the only party she's gone to that she actually liked, and it says, to celebrate, they could spend 3 hours reading whatever they wanted, and then they could take a slice of cake with them when they left, whenever they wanted, and without a word to anyone. That had been bliss. It's just so funny. She's so antisocial and a hermit, and she's learning how to socialize in order to grow her business and make some money. She says that she's hating it, but she's starting to like it. It's a very cute little extra through line in the book. This little romance is very much
I can fix
that from Holes. He's like doing acts of service constantly, and it's so cute. I have read most of the day as planned. Now I have 100 pages left, and I am loving this book. At this point, we are looking at 5-star, which is very exciting. The problem is they just keep talking about cinnamon rolls because there is a baker in town and she keeps paying her in cinnamon buns, and that's what she keeps giving her when she needs something to eat. So I'm gonna make myself some cinnamon buns. The thing is, my usual recipe has yeast. I don't feel like waiting a day or whatever. So I'm gonna do a no yeast recipe that I've never tried before, but it has good reviews. So I'm gonna listen for a little bit. The problem is I always listen when I'm not really liking a book, but right now I'm gonna listen because I don't want to stop reading the book. The other problem is I am gonna annotate a lot when we're done, and I can't really do that with an audiobook. Sometimes I will just like screenshot the point I'm at in the audiobook and then find it in the book after. Maybe I'll have to do that, but I am still really enjoying it. Keela is changing her ways a little bit. She came into this new life feeling like everything was transactional and had to be transactional and didn't really know the idea of people doing things just to be kind, and she is learning that, and it's a wonderful lesson that she's learning, and it's kind of blossoming her a little bit. So there's a lot more to say, but I think I'll wait till the end at this point because I only have 100 pages left, but just know that I'm loving it, and out of all the cozy fantasies that I have read, and there are quite a few, I think this is by far my favorite, which is saying a lot. So I'm definitely gonna finish this today. It is 6 o'clock, so I don't usually go to bed until like 9:30-ish. So I'm gonna finish this for sure, and then maybe even start my next read. I don't know if I can do a book a day like I planned on, but at this point, if they're as good as this one is, I shouldn't have a problem. So I'm gonna go audiobook with chapter 27. And I'm gonna make some cinnamon buns. I have a lot of reading updates for you, but also just like a thank you before that, because it has been a crazy couple of days for me. I just checked my YouTube analytics. I find it very interesting, but it's not really something I follow. I've said before, I make content that I enjoy watching and that I enjoy making. But I'm filming this at the end of June. Tomorrow is the last day of the month, and I have gained 25% of my total followers this month, most of which happened in the last 3 days. I'm feeling very grateful, and I try not to let it impact my mood too much because it really doesn't matter, but also it's making me happy, and so I'm going to acknowledge it. I'm going to say hi if you're new, thanks for coming. Hi if you're not new, thanks for being here for however long you have been. That's all. That's as sappy as I'm going to get. Anyway, I finished the spell shop last night. I made cinnamon rolls. They're okay. Like I said, I usually use yeast, and I just did like a quick 40-minute recipe, and they're a bit tough, but microwaved this morning with some cream cheese icing for breakfast. It was so good. I put a little bit of maple syrup in the icing, helps a lot. So I will continue to eat them. It's fine. They're okay. Anyway, I finished the spell shop. I then went through it and annotated all of the pages that I had folded over. Guys, I absolutely loved this book. It was 5 stars. It was so good. I already said it yesterday. I've read quite a few cozy fantasies, I would say. Like, I'm thinking specifically Emily Wilde, Legends and Lattes, The Honey Witch. This was by far the best one because it still was not that predictable, and there were just enough twists and turns and moments where I was like, is this considered a cozy fantasy? Because it's cozy and it's fantasy, but it's still a little bit high stakes. I loved it. So I think if you want to get into cozy fantasy and you're not sure if it'll be too slow for you, maybe start here because it's not that slow. And if this is too slow for you, then absolutely all cozy fantasy will be, because this was a little more action-packed than I was expecting, especially like from the middle to the end. I think I said at the beginning that Kaz was like a sprite when I had read one chapter or whatever. He is a spider plant that was magically created by another librarian, and he is one of my favorite little sidekick characters I've ever had in a book. Oh, I listened to the audiobook for a couple of chapters. I did not really like the audiobook narrator. They said the male main character's name is Lauren, but it said really quickly, Loran. I was saying Loran. It's Larran. Loran? Anyway, he is phenomenal. Like I said before, Keela thought that everything needed to be transactional with all relationships, and he was a big one of those, but he just liked her and wanted to do things to make her happy. And once she learned that, oh, they're so good. I think based on some reviews that I read after finishing the book that Keela is supposed to be maybe an unlikable character, and I think she maybe starts that way in the first few chapters, but I found her really relatable. So if she's unlikable, I don't know if that bodes well for me or if it takes all kinds of kinds, which is the truth. I just absolutely loved this book. I think that it was so much fun. I absolutely want this life. Just making jam and having a garden and living in a cozy home, having beach views whenever you want them. I want this life. I really do. It just seems so beautiful. That was book number 1. Done. Then I was going to bed. I was like, it was 8 o'clock. I was feeling tired. I was like, okay, I'm going to go to bed early and I'm going to pick up my next book that I think will be 5 stars that I have held on to for probably like 8 months. It's been on my TBR cart and I have been nervous to read it because I have such high expectations, and now it's gone on so long that I'm like, if it doesn't meet them, I'm going to be sad. And I am 100 pages into Lovely War. I read last night in bed like 50 pages, and then this morning when I was on the treadmill, and then when I was eating breakfast, and then when I was eating lunch, and now it's 3:30. I'm finished my work day and I'm going to keep reading this for the rest of the day. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to read as many books as I wanted to in as short a time as I wanted to, and if this is the way it's going, I'm going to finish this today. I think it's like 500 pages, so we'll see. But guys, this book is amazing already. I got 15 pages in. I sat there in bed and I thought, this might be the best start to any book I've ever read. Because you start with the gods, and this is mostly Aphrodite, but also more of them. Like, they're all there, and they just brought Apollo in, but it is mostly Aphrodite telling the story of love existing through the war, through Ares' war. And I think it's World War I and World War II, but right now it's just World War I where we're starting. It's so beautiful. The writing is perfect. It's so interesting. It's not a concept I've ever heard of before. I love historical fiction and reading about the wars. I think that they are interesting in themselves, but to add this aspect of the gods controlling people's lives, but trying to, I don't even know how to say it, because Ares is not trying to do anything for humans. He thinks humans are weak and he pities them. She pities them because they are flawed and they don't get the love stories that they deserve. I don't know. I don't even know what else to say. I'm only 100 pages in, but so far we have met Aubrey, James, and Hazel. Aubrey is kind of this new addition, and I'm curious what his part is going to be, because he is a black soldier in World War I who joined the war. It sounds like because he thought he would be paid to play the piano, and so far that hasn't really happened. They're not really sure where to put his squadron, and that part is so sad. And then Hazel is a pianist as well back in England who met a boy the week he was leaving for the war, James, who has now gone, and she's like, okay, well, I'm gonna go play piano at the front to be entertainment for these guys. And she is an amazing character. I think she's gonna meet Aubrey based on something that just happened, because she is standing up for people who don't have enough people standing up for them. This book has made me cry like 3 times in this 100 pages, by the way, because it's not fair, and because It's fake and it's fiction, but also it's real. The war happened, people met people, people lost people. Racism, still very real, was very real back then as well. And she is speaking up for the people that maybe don't have a lot of people speaking up for them, even when there's no one there to thank her for it. So Hazel's a real one. I'm expecting this to make me cry a lot. It's 3:30. Zach's gonna do the dogs today. So I'm gonna go make myself a decaf latte. I'm gonna make some soup. It feels like soup season already. I love fall. I'm not mad at this weather. None of that matters except to say, outside of cooking dinner, I am just gonna read all night. Tiny Bookshop is calling my name, but I'm going to not listen to it, and I'm going to try to finish this if I can. Like, I'm not sure how, but there was just a 5-page story about people, and I cried. 5 pages. How do you make me fall in love with people and feel their grief for them that quickly? That's good writing. Oh my goodness. If this keeps going, this might be one of my favorite books of all time. I don't want to speak too soon. I'm gonna start this by saying Kelso's real cute right now. Yes, we're taking all that stuff with us tomorrow. Didn't want to put the groceries away just to take them out again for our trip. Let's talk about it, because I was in bed reading this with a dog on my lap and a sleeping Zach beside me, and I was sobbing, trying not to wake them up. This book made me cry 8, 9 times. That might be a new record. I'm having like flashbacks to when I read My Sister's Keeper. I think I was in high school and wept, absolutely wept. And this kind of reminds me of that. This is a 5-star, 6-star, 7-star book. This is one of my favorite books of all time. I cannot believe how much I enjoyed this. And it has not escaped me that this is a historical fiction with a little bit of fantasy element, just like my other favorite book of the year, The Warm Hands of Ghosts. I think I might have to explore that a little bit. The fact that they are 2 of my favorite books of the year of all time, and they kind of are the same mix of genres. Interesting. This book is just World War I. I think I said that it was World War I and World War II. So that's good, because I was actually worried that I was gonna have to like leave these characters, and I didn't have to. They were the whole story. I think I rage baited myself, because when I finished reading it, here's the thing. I love the subjectivity of books. I love that everybody's opinions are different, and that some people's favorite books can be some people's least favorite books. I think that is so fun and shows humankind and how different everybody is. I hate when I don't like something and someone says, oh, you just didn't get it. Well, maybe I didn't get it and I didn't like it. But I think I rage baited myself, because after I finished reading it, I left my review on Goodreads, and then I was like, let me just see the 1-star reviews, because I can't imagine anybody rating this 1 star. And they made me angry. I was like, okay, I'm a hypocrite, because I hate when people say you just don't get it, but I was thinking they just didn't get it. And I don't know what's not to get it. It's pretty straightforward. I think I was expecting more of a fantasy element than there was, but it's this idea of like these fates and these gods in the background of everybody's life, and having their favorite humans and choosing to make their life better because they think that they're the good ones. There was like foreshadowing that I missed, that at the end I was like, oh my goodness, now I understand what I read earlier, and I had to go find it because there was something I highlighted. Maybe you can't see because it's light pink, but there are so many tabs in this book. And there's something that I highlighted at the very beginning that came into play at the very end. So that was fun, that I half caught it, but like didn't catch it enough to know that that was what was going to happen. I don't know if I'm making any sense right now, but you follow these 4 core characters the entire book, and I liked every single one of them. Wonderful. Even though they weren't perfect people, because nobody's perfect, they had some awful, awful trauma in their lives, most of them. Obviously, it's the war. It really made me hate war more than I already did, because things are not changing. there is a line in here that says the first casualty of war is the truth. And it is, because it's talking about how these men were dying and all of their families were being told that they didn't feel any pain and it was quick, when half the time that wasn't the truth. But you just want to make people think good things are happening there so that they support the cause longer. Then there's this whole side plot running through it of the gods, and some people on their reviews didn't like that part, and I think I understand not liking that part. I thought it was done perfectly and I absolutely loved it, but also it's not big or important enough. It is, but it's not noticeable enough maybe to ruin the book for you if you don't like that part. You can still just immerse yourself in the story of these 4 main characters throughout World War I. Guys, I absolutely loved it. I sobbed. So that's book 2, and it's one of my favorite books of all time. It's definitely in the top 5. No doubt about it that this is in my top 5 favorite books. I want to recommend it to everybody, but only if I think they won't say they don't like it. I think it was perfect. I think the writing was perfect. I loved the characters. I loved the plot. I knew it from page 15. Like I said, I read this little prologue and I was like, this is going to be one of my favorite books. I'm going to love this book. And I was right. And I love being right about that. So far, highly anticipated, predicted 5-star books. We are 2 for 3. And that is good news. So I finished that last night at like 11 o'clock. And now I'm going to start Yesteryear. I think I'm really going to like this book because it seems like it's a little bit weird and general fiction, but enough, again, of like this time travel. I don't know how the time travel is going to work. If you haven't heard anything about this book, I'm surprised, but it is about, I guess, a girl who is like a trad wife influencer and portrays this life that maybe she doesn't live, and then she's sent back into the past to live this actual life that she's pretending she has. For my sister and I's buddy read, I was like, I think that this would be a book that we could both enjoy. And then my other sister texted me and said, have you read Yesteryear? I think you would like it. It's really weird. And that kind of sold me. I was like, okay, I was going to choose that soon and now I have to. So if someone is telling me they think I'm going to like it and I already thought I was going to like it, I think I'm going to enjoy this. So this is going to be the next read. Here's my problem. It's the last day of June. I was not going to finish this book yesterday. I was saying to myself, you know what? If I don't finish it, that's fine. This can be the last book of June. I'll start this in July, even though it's from my June TBR, whatever. And then I couldn't stop reading it. I took a bath. I read while I cooked dinner. I read in the bath. I read while I ate every meal yesterday. So I'm kind of hoping that happens with this as well, because I had a work day. I read with breakfast, with lunch, and then after work at like 3:30 until I went to bed. So if that happens again, that would be great. We are leaving for our trip at 8 a.m. tomorrow, so I also have to add packing to that. And Zach walked the dogs yesterday, but he is away for work all day today, so I also have to add that. But it's a shorter book. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm not going to like it. Maybe I won't finish it today. I am going to start it today. I'm going to do my best to finish it today because I kind of hate carrying books over to the next month. I'm not sure how it's going to go. For now, I'm going to eat my breakfast, cinnamon rolls, and a latte, and I'm going to read for a little bit. So I just started reading. I am just done part 1, which is like a little, I don't know how many pages, 30-page prologue situation, and I'm already invested. Our protagonist, Natalie, is a piece of work. You can tell already. She is a very complicated main character. She has ambitions and goals that kind of overarch her whole life, and they are her only priority. There's all of these things going on in her life that you learn right away, and she just sweeps everything under the rug and tries to take control of all of it. And this little prologue ends with her praying and saying, "Please give my husband a spine. I'm tired of him needing to borrow mine." Where the people online obviously think that she and her husband have a great relationship, and we already know that they don't. There's a lot of things that they think about her, and she tries to control the narrative every time, and she only responds to people who see the world the same way as her, or who think that she's telling the truth about everything. And then she has burner accounts to respond to the people who maybe criticize her online. Reads like she's doing a bit of an interview. There's just like some italicized little parts in this first chapter, and she answers them in a very PR trained way, whereas the rest of it is her inner monologue of like, it starts by her saying, people hate me because I'm perfect, and then you quickly learn that she is not perfect, and she realizes that, I think. I hope so. Maybe she is disillusioned and thinks she actually is perfect and everyone else around her is the problem. It's very interesting. Super weird. So I'm like 100 pages in now. It keeps going back and forward from the past to the future. It's jumping around maybe a little bit more than I would like, and it doesn't tell us, right? The chapter just starts with back when I was in my sophomore year of college, or I wake up to this dark house, and that's how you kind of have to know if she's in 1855. I'm not enjoying the jumping around. I don't love a past and present timeline at the best of times, so that's the only thing that's kind of losing my interest every once in a while. And she goes on a lot of rants about people, and it's becoming a little bit sameness, so I'm gonna need something to change soon. I think I would have liked more about her current actual life than we got. Maybe one chapter wasn't enough. I don't know. Something about it just isn't clicking right now, so I need it to get there soon. But otherwise, I am still really liking it, and the writing is still very good. It stopped raining, so I did the dog walk, and now I am halfway through. I have a lot of thoughts, but none of them are like coming to fruition in my brain for what I should say. I think it is very difficult going from a wonderful, beautiful love story like Lovely War to a book where this couple absolutely can't stand each other. They don't like each other. They both definitely realized it pretty quick after they got married. Rough. It's a rough read. I'm definitely enjoying the flashbacks a whole lot more than the current olden days. I don't even know how to say it. It's a mind bend. It is. Bear with me. This book, though, is about feminism. She is completely comparing her life to everybody else all the time while still thinking she has it better, even though she's completely miserable. It's very interesting because I think everybody can find something relatable in there. She's unbearable, but there is some relatability there anyway. It is portraying this idea that everybody gets to make their own choices and women should have the right to make their own choices. She just thinks hers is the right choice. Here's the thing. It is much more motherhood centered than I was expecting, which is fine for a book. But as someone who doesn't want kids, it is difficult for me to read about someone who the whole story is pretty focused on motherhood, and she doesn't even like kids, let alone her own. Like, she does not really enjoy being around children. You can tell unless they're behaving perfectly. And then even then she's like, oh, all I hear all day is them chattering. She just wants a baby who looks like her and is silent. Anyway, I have a lot of just thoughts. I listened to the audiobook while I went for the dog walk. I don't know if I already said that. Pretty good audiobook, so I'm gonna keep that in mind if there's anything else that I feel like doing tonight, or for any of the last minute running around packing stuff, but I'm gonna go back to reading now. I don't know about my opinion. I can tell you I'm pretty sure it's not a 5-star read. I still love the writing. The plot is just a bit weird. It's just a bit Truman showy. I don't know, something weird's going on, and I'm waiting for the pin to drop. I'm still, like I was 100 pages ago, waiting for something to change in this olden days timeline. So I'm finished. I have been sitting on it for like 30 minutes, not sure what to say, because I have a lot of thoughts and I don't actually know what they are. They're just kind of percolating. I think I didn't love the ending. I think I liked the premise of the ending. I think I didn't like the way that it was introduced. I started off confused and I had to reread a page, so that could be user error. There was like a disconnect there or something. And I think that this book was supposed to be a satirical thriller and to talk about influencers and Tradwife and Manosphere on a larger scale and kind of shine light on that whole aspect of the world. But for me, it really just honed in on this one person and her mental health struggles. I didn't really see the bigger picture of it. It really, really centered in on this one character, which is fine. I just don't think that's what the book was setting out to do, and that's all I kind of got from it, was that it was this story about this one person and the way that her life went. I don't know what I think. It was still good. It just didn't really live up to the hype for me. It wasn't what I expected it to be. So I was kind of torn about a rating. I think I'm going to settle on a 3.5 stars. I would read more from this author if they released more books, because it was good writing and I enjoyed the storyline and the way that it flowed for the most part, and good character writing. I could picture all of the characters, I could picture the setting and everything, but the story itself just kind of fell a little bit flat for me towards the end. 2 out of 3 ain't bad for my highly anticipated reads. I'm so curious what my sister is going to think about this. I am curious to get her thoughts. I'm probably just going to let her borrow my copy now that I'm done reading it. I officially don't have to carry it over into July. So that concludes this video. Thank you so much for coming, and I will see you next week with another video. Bye.